Welcome back, fellow armchair generals, to Hearts of Iron 3's Black Ice 10.41. This is Gamer 1745 here. And we have Paris surrounded, and we are assaulting Amsterdam again. So we'll see how all this goes. So 2, 3, and then there we go. They're pushing out from Paris, trying to break out, or which I think will actually be good for us because it'll exhaust more of their troops. A little better than us pushing too hard maybe into Paris. Pushing rather hard here. Okay, well, let's move one division there and keep the others moving. You can come north, I think. You come north, maybe. Dealing a bit with the Amsterdam assaults and whatnot. Okay, we keep winning at Versailles. They're almost pushing down there. Let's have you push. Well, down that way maybe. I know it's just an infantry division and all, but okay, they're trying to insert movement there, so let's come here with a motorized division. No, just here, I think, for the moment. Okay, division shattered. Yeah, no, you're no longer attacking, you're just maybe walking in that direction. How is this battle? Okay. We may break them soon and get in there. Costly, but we're doing it. Let's send you down this way. In support of Rommel. Okay, well, I think now we shall do another assault on Paris. Obviously we did one when we first rushed down here. Okay, you support the attack. You come in there. Okay, capital ship damage control. Okay, grayed out. And let's see what we're doing. Their production, but back technology. I think more just these operating ones we need to get. Going. Oh, major defeat somewhere. Where? Here, maybe. Okay, I don't know. But we won up there finally. Oh, Brest. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, that could be the major defeat. Run away. Look at that. That has to be some sort of... Doesn't it? Some sort of spam? There wasn't that much when we started there. That's why we... Just retreat, just retreat, just run. You're faster, I think, than anything they're going to be, so you just go. Okay, attack focus is advanced up pause. That I believe is under here. Yes, stop. Small warship. Damage control time. Or grade. Land-based air warning grade. Okay. Lots of radar tanks. I think now we're going to continue to we're in our research resources here. Combined arms coordination. Mountain unit training. There, I think. Let's help these guys out. Motorized forces, you'll move a bit faster, so you're going to go down this way. And this motorized division will also head down that way. How is our assault? Okay, you're going to get out of the assault because you're getting a little too... exhausted. Oh, well, let's sort of head some, you know, well... okay, well, okay, no. You can stop, we don't need to keep flying supplies. We should be getting supplies. I think it's on, automatic mode, yeah. Coming out here, going up to here, here, and here. Currently, I think some of those will disappear. But, alright. Major defeat, okay. Well, they finally pushed us back here. Alright, well, you're falling back on a pretty stable unit. To there. Of course, the big goal here is major defeat somewhere, okay. Harlem, okay, well. We should have some troops, yeah, not engaged who will be able to defend against their counterattack. Yeah, this is because of the little supply dealies down here. Okay, are you retreating fast enough? I hope so, yeah, okay. Yeah, hopefully they'll be supplied well enough down there as they run. And these guys move. Okay, keep retreating out here. Don't know what I should do for supply. I thought he was going to be able. There's either the I don't know. Somehow a lot of units appeared there. Looks like there's 4 infantry tank divisions. Or divisions with infantry tanks in them, and I don't know. Colonial stuff. Don't know what appeared there. There's obviously a British motorized brigade. I would prefer not to lose this, but I think I am moving fairly quickly this way. Now you guys can come that way. I thought we almost had Amsterdam. Yeah, this is looking grimmer than I'd like. Well, that looks fairly secure. So what we're going to do here is... Well, what if we need that big stack? Okay, well, there we go. Where are you? Wherever you are, you're going to come to here. Okay, now that you're here, well, we probably could move in some fighters. Well, okay, no order for you, so you guys get to come over to here. Rebase. I don't think anything's getting that far deep into us, so you'll come up to here. Base to here. going to fly air supply to here. And you're getting shot up by others. Okay, I'm somewhat prepared for that. Air intercept. That region. Air intercept. Maybe not quite as big a region there. Okay, that unit just got doomed. Yeah, I effed up. Pause. Yeah. Okay, you're going to just to defend, but yeah, we've lost a 26 Panzer Division. Wow, okay. I thought, you know what I thought. Thought we could do it. No support. No, support the attack. Uh-oh, Rommel's now getting cut off. Am I going to do the same mistake with Rommel? Well, I think we'll just leave him to, well. You know, if we were to take Paris, that would just sort of end a lot of the problem. Push on these guys here, yeah. We're just going to move to here, air supply to Rom. How is our attack doing up here? Just a little bit more. That's what they always say, right? Once more into the breach. So you can come up, you can come, yeah. You're just gonna come and mark into there. But I really want to take down this big old stack of everything here. That's mostly just a pinning attack. Okay, well, yeah, drop now from here, air supply to there. That's where we're occupying. I've already sort of basically written this off. What, okay, what, oh, you came back to rebase back into here and then we lost the base. Okay. Just move to there maybe for the moment. Yeah, okay. Oh god, I hate those. They shouldn't be there. Okay, well, let's see. Well, you know, what are we doing currently? We're losing a Panzer Division, it appears, and I'm not thinking Rommel's. I'm thinking Rommel's gets to survive. What's my current thoughts? Let's how extravagant do we go? I guess we go with armored cars. Trucks, HQs. Just motorized support. look at the division. Okay, that was a really nice division. Even had self-propelled artillery and engineers. Wow, that was an expensive division I'm losing here. Let's go with self-propelled artillery. It was meant to be a fast, and it's replacing the big differences is motorized support instead of engineers. But I don't see them surviving. Rommel, with supplies, he can survive. Because we are effectively pushing back down towards it. Just not enough time to save them. Unit shattered up here, I think, in defending. Okay, they're coming in reinforcements. Oh, you guys get to march that way. Conclusion after defeat. Yeah. Conclusion after defeat. Gamer sucks. Okay, you're coming there. You come. Yeah, I haven't learned my lesson, I know. But you come this way. You join this attack through there. You're pushing into there. You're pushing into there effectively. So you. Yeah, okay, I think. Don't know which area that division shattered on which attack. Major defeat. Yeah. Okay, well, let's see here. It's the English division here that's the heavy armor unit here that's giving us the problem. So we're going to counterattack there. You come up to here. You can come into there. They stopped attacking now that they've been counterattacked. One of the divisions is going to join that counterattack, and the French unit is already split down into the English units what able to fighting. Oh, we also have more research we should be doing. Italy. Italy's joining the war, some crap. Okay, pause. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, we don't care about that. And we don't care about that notification. And the Dutch are attacking something. Whatever. Okay, so now. Nope. No, we're paused. Okay. So tripartite pact is in effect now. Supplies by 5%. Espionage bonus, ruling party support, research efficiency. I'm torn about things on some of this stuff. Oh, how do I put this? The more I look into it, whether you call it research or just reading, well, we'll call it research. The more I research it, the less coordination I see between the three powers. And sometimes there's good reason for it. And sometimes there's very bad reasons for it. One of the good reasons is, hell, Japan's on the other side of the planet, you know, and the Japanese Navy and the Japanese Army, I'm going to overstate this and use hyperbole, but they're almost at war with each other. And really, literally, sometime before when there's a war just in China, for a while Yamamoto lives aboard one of the battleships, and it's one of the few battleships that at least the sort of admiral quarters actually has air conditioning in it. He's trapped aboard it because the Navy higher ups, because he is sort of the guy in charge. He is not the most senior admiral. He is not the guy sitting in the high naval jobs back in Tokyo or wherever. But he is sort of the leading light of the Japanese Navy. And he is one of the ones that is, shall we say, in the peace party, if you will, with the Western Allies. He does not want to go to war with the U.S. And whether it's arrest, assassinate, because, was it 35 or 36? The Japanese Army are elements of, if you, a clique of officers, a sort of junior officers, probably with some level of approval of some higher officers, it's sort of how it sort of works, is that they get, the higher sort of like, well, guys, you're going to do that, are you? I haven't heard anything about that. I wouldn't know anything about, and not telling them to do it, not telling them not to do it, just sort of like, oh, we'll see how this turns out. And if it turns out badly, we'll disavow it. And if it turns out well, it was done for the good reasons. They assassinate the Prime Minister of Japan because Japan's Prime Minister was, and sometimes they say, oh, he was pro-democratic and pro... Yeah, to some degree, and I don't know a lot. I don't want to overstate it, but he was definitely not one of the hooray for the wars in China, let's have more wars kind of guy, for sure. And not to he's definitely not democratic and wanting to overthrow the power of the emperor. He just, a bit more moderate from my understanding. And again, I'm not an expert on him, so I'm giving you vague terms about him. So, the army assassinates a prime minister. The army is looking to, whether it's assassinate or arrest and, execute Yamamoto or just arrest. They're looking to take out Yamamoto, so they need to keep him on board. Not just on board a naval base, they keep him locked up. In the admiral, it's the Navy saying, yeah, you don't get to go ashore, Admiral, because they're going to arrest you. The Army is, and so there's naval ground troops around, keeping them off the ship, kind of thing. Not that the Army is sitting out there with bayonets and machine guns trying to go aboard, but it's very clear that he would be arrested. So yeah, they're almost literally in the late 30s at war with each other, the Army and the Navy. And I think it's months. I think it's sort of the term, and this is talking about coordination between Germany and the Axis powers. I think it's somewhere in the realm of 6 months. Get this, guys. It's months, literally months. And it's more in the realm of 6, maybe 9 months, that the Navy finally gets around to telling the Army, which is in charge, and we're talking Tojo here, finally gets around to telling Tojo about what happened at the Battle of Midway. I'm not even sure if they told them that there was a Battle of Midway, and then gets around to telling them, oh yeah, those carriers? Yeah, they got sunk. This is from what I understand. I'm saying it's true in that I read it in, proper history books. It wasn't just somebody like me giving commentary, so you can look it up if you want to look more information. But they're literally not telling the Army that, oh yeah, our main carrier force just got sunk. Because it's a state secret. They're keeping this thing, secret because we, secret naval movements, we're not telling you everything. So they literally don't tell the Army for a long time that a main element of their fleet gets sunk. So how do you expect a situation where the Navy doesn't tell the Army they just got fucked? When they're a naval nation and, an island nation that needs a Navy to have a war with China, because otherwise you can't have a war with China without a navy. Keep supplies going from. There's still lots of manufacturing going from Japan to the continent to fight that war, and of course a lot of resources being dug out of particularly Manchuria, but other places, including Korea and other parts of China, taken back to Japan to be manufactured. You need a navy to protect that. You can't just like go, like Germany could go, no, we don't have a navy. Okay, we can still defeat France, or defeat Russia, and I'm not saying no boats anywhere floating, but you know what I mean, because basically Germany didn't have much of a navy other than, submarines. A couple of battleships doesn't a navy make. Not in World War II terms. So, yeah, that'd be sort of like, okay, we're getting ready to invade Russia. What? Goering? Where are the aircraft? Oh, didn't I tell you? All of our aircraft got shot down over Britain. And what? We invaded Russia and you don't have an aircraft? Oh, no, don't worry about it. You'll be okay. I mean, it's almost literally that kind of level of lack of communication within Japan. Okay, how the hell are they going to, communicate with Germany? And so some of it's geographical, some of it's, sort of good reasons. Some of it's silly reasons. It's sort of like, hey, the Navy isn't telling the Army what the Army is doing, and the Army is the main people talking to Germany. So, there is sort of things like that going on. And it's also coordination, things like supplies and espionage. Now, I think, I remember something about spies in Italy and Washington, D.C. I'm not really sure right offhand who was making the coups, who was getting the good spying stuff. But yeah, spying, Italy's doing its set of spying around, and so that's probably helping out. But, Mussolini doesn't inform the Germans that, oh, hey, oops, I just declared war on Greece, and, obviously they know the day that it happens because it makes, the news, but they don't, tell them, beforehand, because they just think it's just going to be, a million bayonets marching across the hills into Greece, and it's just going to be, fun, but turns out not to be. So yeah, and so that's some of the silly reasons that they're not communicating, as well as Italy's armaments industry, generally speaking, and a lot of its tank ensemble, Fiat combination corporation group doesn't want to have a bunch of German technical assistants come down and teach them, set them up to build German models of tanks or other equipment. They want to do their own stuff, and their own stuff is, as you're probably well aware of, is riveted armor onto frames instead of welding, armor together. And the velocity of the artillery, the tank guns are much, much lower. So to the point that once all of the Italian armor is lost in North Africa, Tunisia finally ends, the last of it, the rebuilding of the Italian armor divisions, and there are remnant units and stuff going on in Italy, is basically done. Now there are coordination, and in theory you might not see them, but there are setups if Italy goes sort of bad and lose some of the stuff to create German equipped armored division that mostly just end up fighting the Germans, because Italy switches sides, and I think it's Arite and one other division that's they do switch sides and fight the Germans with German equipment. So yeah, and of course the P-40, the closest thing Italy's getting to a modern tank at that time, which has a okayish gun, okayish level of armor, but still, it's riveted or bolted. I think it's riveted, but whatever. Either way, onto a frame, and it's still not up to the technology of the time. It's just finally gotten a big enough engine, moving a moderately well armored tank. It's not like it's a heavy tank. It's just like, yeah, it's almost as good as a Sherman, kind of tank. About the time that they're, it's a bit late for that. So that only Germany uses against the Allies, because none of them get to any of the Italian divisions that didn't fight the Germans. So yeah, and I think it's less than 100 of these tanks that Germany ends up equipping forces locally with them. But yeah, so there definitely should be some of these bonuses. Now, there's definitely trade bonuses. And it's probably equally level shit show as the rest of it, but there's definitely trade bonuses going on, meaning not necessarily well coordinated trade, because there's not necessarily well coordinated trade within Germany, and yeah, so I'll go into more of that, but not right at the moment. So there's definitely some of that going on. Definitely the idea that, hey, we have Italy, we have Romania, for oil, because, crude oil going to Germany sort of helps Italy, because some of that does sort of come, its products come into Italy, if nothing else, to support German operations in Italy. It does help. But it could have been a lot better. How do I put this? There is a lot of leftover animosity from the First World War on both sides, particularly in the armies, between Italy and Germany, to the point that you have like Otto Skorzeny. One of the reasons I understand he was picked to go rescue Mussolini was because he hated the Italians. Where some of the other commando type leaders that were thought, when asked, oh yeah, no, the Italians are blah, 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 good, something or other, just thinking they're given the party line. Otto Skorzeny, being an Austrian, has something, I don't know if it's a hatred, but a dislike of the Italian military. And so, yeah, no, he's our guy, Hitler. To go rescue Mussolini, because of course he's being held by the Italians and going to go fight Italians. But so yeah, there is leftover animosity over World War I, and of course, if you're looking at the Austrians going way back, between each side, along with on the German side, a contempt for Italian. So why tell these, ice cream vendors anything, because they'll leak it, their intelligence security isn't good enough, or it won't help them anyways, or, it's just a lot of contempt going on. And so, but they could have done a much better job and still be, I totally agree with, one of the book authors on German economics during the war period or something. Someone asked him in a Q&A after a lecture on the book or whatever, well, what would it have been if Germany hadn't, I forget exactly the question, but it was like, not necessarily not use slave labor, but like treat their labor better or whatever, words to, what if Germany had been, responsible, looking over its captured peoples, in the war, and use them effectively for labor and production. What if they had done so? And the author is, what you mean, what if Nazis weren't Nazis? How would that have been, the war would have been different? And I think his answer was sort of, we didn't look into that question because Nazis are Nazis and this is the way they behave. I'm saying with them still being Nazis, still being Germans, because we do see, starting second half of World War II, we start seeing, partially because of, with the Stalingrad campaign, you just now get to where you can fly Condors out from the Caucasus areas to Japanese-held territory in Manchukuo. So you can fly over the Soviet Union. You can finally do that. There's getting to be enough of an interest for a little bit of U-boat trade on critical materials, both directions between Japan and Germany. And you're just getting that to sort of late war, wanting to transfer technology to Japan to keep Japan in the war longer, to distract the Americans, as if the Germans were going to be able to stay in the war longer, but kind of thing. So we do see it developing mid to late war, shall we say, with Japan better. And we do see initially dealing with Italy once it's collapsed in North Africa, and then later dealing with the Italian Social Republic, though that's even more of a puppet state and another whole shit show for different reasons. But we see Germany taking on especially that part. But even before then, you have, before the fall of Sicily, but once North Africa is collapsing, German technical advisors coming down into Italy to work on, the Italians accept, paying attention, having them come and pay attention to them, shall we say, as opposed to just doing their own thing, to building fortifications, because these guys had been, building fortifications on the west wall, looking at Maginot Line fortifications. The Italians had already built fortifications on the French borders and earlier on the German-Austrian borders, worrying about Austrian or German intervention through. So they had some modern fortifications, but looking at building the West Wall, looking at the Czech forts, the Maginot forts, and building the Atlantic Wall that has already been in production, getting some of their, technical advisors on how to build good bunkers and fields of fire, and starting to use, Italian labor and whatnot to build them, but starting fortification programs in places like Sicily and Sardinia. Before the Sicilian landing. So there was starting to be like, okay, yeah, you can come and show us how to build bunkers better. And the Italians going, well, we had that same idea anyways. I'm sure they were, something like this. But the idea that they were, accepting German advice, whether they openly accepted it or just, claimed to have thought of it all along, and, just whatever the German, So, they were already doing some of that at stages, and it's particularly for Italy, more so than Japan, but particularly for Italy, only accepting the aid, including things like Rommel, and going into Greece, once Italian failures have become apparent. Yeah. And so I think this is a reasonable bonuses, but I sometimes think, they're reasonable. National revolt risk down? Yeah, because you're less alone in the world for whatever nation, because these are going to be for all the nations. Whether it's Germany, the communists are less likely to rise up as partisans in Italy if they think they're part of the winning axis, in 1940 or something, when they take Paris, or when they take, when they're riding high, go watch the great movie, and somewhat, the details of the history are all phony, but somewhat the historical context of what's sort of going on in Casablanca, with the German advisors coming in for Vichy, France, Germany's on the ascendancy. So yeah, the communists aren't going to be rising up in Italy at this time, because they just get slaughtered for no good effect. National manpower, yeah, similar sort of thing. ICs 2%, better trade back and forth. Okay, yeah, maybe. Energy, definitely. Germany, and TIK did a very interesting video on problems with coal. It wasn't coal, it was problems with rail transport, but that's another whole issue. Metal. Yeah, we're getting metal moved around. Rare materials, definitely. Now, this is a very small bonus, but like we can see whether the trade, the submarine trade, which is very, very small amounts, but sometimes critical amounts of stuff going back and forth between Japan, but also better in Europe. Supplies, yeah, easier supply movement, especially once you start occupying southern France and moving stuff in and out of Spain. Money, yeah, I guess. Leadership modifiers, yeah, because that's more research, more diplomacy kind of thing, yeah. Territorial pride, you're winning, seems good. You're not in this alone again. Espionage bonus, probably better than negatives, but sometimes some of this stuff, if you share something with Japan, and I think that's, no, I forget, but sometimes it was the U.S. reading the Japanese stuff that was letting them know what's going on in Germany, because the Japanese ambassador to Germany was being informed on stuff, and as before the U.S. gets the Enigma machine or something like that, or copies and breaks that. I know the British are working on it, but something in there, they're getting some stuff from some of the Japanese code. So that can go, espionage can maybe be counterproductive in real history. Ruling party support, yeah, hey, we're on the winning side. We're part of a big coalition. That sounds good. Research efficiency, that sort of goes back to leadership. I see efficiency, production, supply throughput, yes, because rails linking multiple nations, because we're also looking at like Hungary and Romania, and officer recruitment, whatever. And similarly there. Okay, and dockyard efficiency, because we got the Italian dockyards. Expand our hospitals, great. Expand our warships. Well, let's just save this here. Okay, well, I think we're going to end this episode here after my talk and gaining the historical axis set up here. We can see all of this. Notice Yugoslavia, which was briefly in the historical axis, and we don't yet have Bulgaria, but who cares about Bulgaria, really? It's like caring about Siam. It really has no great effect. Yeah, so if you haven't already, please subscribe. Please like videos, and of course, love hearing from you. So please post questions, comments, suggestions below. See you next time for even more, yes, more Hearts of Iron.